Hi, Kathy. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for agreeing to do that with me today, the interview for Talks with Doc.
My pleasure. Sounded like fun, so I thought I'd do it.
Thank you. So I want to introduce you first in few words, and I hope you don't mind if I call you Kathy from now on.
That's fine. Yeah.
Perfect. So Kathy Donkus is currently retired, and this is one of the reasons why she has more time to devote to her passion and hobby, music. And she plays harp and piano. And I wanted to ask you, I understand that you come from a family that really cherishes education. Your mom was a lot into reading, but it was really your dad that inspired you into music, and he was very musically inclined.
Correct. My father could play almost any instrument. He took a lot of them in college, but when I was growing up, I would just sit down and start playing the piano, even when I was 4 years old, and he would show me things. My mother could play also, but dad was really the one. He could play by ear. And I kept saying, teach me how to do that. But it's something you almost have to pick up on your own. So I keep trying to learn that. But he introduced me to everything. And then I started taking piano lessons. I think I was about 8 years old.
Oh,
Yep.
that's pretty early, but this is, in my opinion, perfect age for that because your ear is so plastic and you can be so good at it and so quickly. But how did you get interested in harp? This is, you don't hear many people playing harp, and I think it's such a lovely and feminine instrument. I always feel that whenever a harpist is playing, it's just this, explosion of femininity and musical passion, and it's just so elegant. How did it start for you?
It's an interesting story. My husband was into woodworking. And about 16 years ago, he sold a large piece of woodworking equipment called a bandsaw. It was out in the driveway because it was too large to get in his wood shop. And he sold it to a gentleman in South Central Pennsylvania who made harps. And through talking with this gentleman and his wife, I found out she played harp. So she'd ask me different questions because of the piano background. And then I thought she started giving lessons somewhere that I could get to easily. So I started taking lessons. And funny story is I started taking lessons in November, like I said, about 16 years ago. And my husband told our music director at church that I would love to play Silent Night on Christmas Eve. Now remember, this was November. I had 3 lessons. I did it. As I recall, it wasn't great and I was very, very nervous, but I got through it. But to this day, my husband cannot stand Silent Night because he heard it over and over and over as I was practicing.
That's a fantastic story. But this shows me how much talent and skill and passion you have. And also, I want to share that you play for various audiences and in hospice and hospitals and nursing homes with some other musicians. So that's wonderful. Did you guys have a chance to play online or through Zoom together, or in masks in the live audiences, or it was not possible?
We did not do that this year. I have some friends who did that, like they play out in their driveway. And
Mhm.
I did not. But before all that, I was playing on my own. Of course, you get a lot of time. So we'd all talk to each other and like, well, what are you practicing on? What are you playing? What are you trying to get better at? And people would talk about that. So that was great. Yeah.
Awesome. And I saw in some houses for the sign of hope and new life, because I think there is a new life after all of this pandemic goes away. There's a lot of Christmas decoration in some houses, and even this everlasting Christmas tree. And it reminds me, Silent Night wouldn't be a bad piece to play today, but we chose something different, and I'll tell you a little story why. But before we go there to your small recital, uh, I know that your childhood passions were Beatles, and you had all, posters of Beatles in your home. And I'm very jealous about the fact that you were able as a teen to attend live concert of Chicago.
Boy, I did. Now that you say that, yes, I went to Hershey Park long time ago and saw Chicago, and they were fantastic. And it's funny. I remember the people I was with, I said, I didn't know any better. I said, "What is that I smell?" They told me it was marijuana, and that's the first time I had ever smelled it. I said, "Oh, okay."
But Kathy, I'm sure it was medicinal.
I'm sure. Yeah, way back then.
Especially back
Yep,
then.
that's great.
That's awesome. And how about Beatles? How did they influence your love for music?
The first thing I remember about the Beatles was when they were on Ed Sullivan, probably 1967, 68. And I was at a church meeting, and we all rushed home to watch them on Ed Sullivan. Luckily, my parents would let us watch. I think they kind of enjoyed it too. So I just have always enjoyed all of their music. And in fact, I play with a handbell partner sometimes, which is beautiful, the handbells and the harp together. Mm-hmm. And she just said, "Let's try some Beatles music." So I found some, and we're going to try that to see if it would sound okay. Because some songs don't readily sound nice on a harp. You have to try them to see. Because I play a lot of soothing music because I like that. Mm-hmm. Very soothing to get people to relax. Fast, things like that. That's just my preference. But some people like to play jazz or other things on the harp.
So, that really segues me very nicely to what I was about to say, that, the music, especially in times like that, those are very hard and challenging times. And as you know, music is part of the therapy and there's multiple evidence-based research on benefits of music. And I have a list of disorders. So music therapy is called audio therapy, and it can be used to relieve stress. It's been used for patients with dementia, Alzheimer's disease. Some forms of music are used in patients who have breathing problems through, inflation and expanding of their lungs. Then for diminishment of pain, so pain relieving properties, increase relaxation, which you mentioned, the soothing part of the music, decrease anxiety, and also help with coping skills. So in general, it's not particular remedy, it's not going to treat you for something, but it helps you hope. And when you cope, and I heard about, you feeling that the soothing part of the music. Tell me more about it. How do you relate that to everyday life or events around you? Do you have a moment that you just shut your doors and start playing as a coping mechanism? How does it affect you?
I do that sometimes, Kasha, or if I think, what do I want to do now, especially in these times when I'm at the house mostly, I'm not bored. I go from one thing to another. And at one time, several times, I will just go where the harp is and start playing. And it's very soothing to me. Mm-hmm. But I also will tell you, one of my favorite places to play is for hospice, because you see how it helps the clients. Just makes them relax. And I've had some people apologize to me when they close their eyes and they're just dozing off. I say, do not apologize. That's what I want you to do. I want you to relax. I don't mind if you go to sleep, just wherever the music takes you. And I have stories of when I've been with hospice clients. It's just very rewarding. I really enjoy playing for them.
Oh, I can certainly see that, how rewarding and wonderful. What a beautiful gift you give to these patients at very difficult and often end stages of their life. So thank you so much for that and for sharing your perspective on it. And I want to, before you start with your harp music, I want to share with you why, first of all, I chose the piece that you are going to so nicely, gracefully agree to play today. When there was a beginning of a pandemic, we in the healthcare system, we really were very adjusting on a go. So, as you know, there's no playbook how to do it right. And one of the things that we did is transition to telemedicine. But you know, my specialty rheumatology is a lot of hands-on, whether it's joint aspiration. And one patient had a emergent visit, and I needed to see them, and I was aspirating one of the joints. And actually, during the preparation phase, I started humming and singing "Amazing Grace." You know, it just dawned on me, you know, the heaviness of it, a challenge, and it provided me the solace when I really needed it, because you just really don't know, and you really want to help patients the best, but you also do not want to appear nervous, and who isn't nervous in these times? And so without further talking, I am ready to listen to you playing on harp. I'm actually very excited about it. And would you like to share any final thoughts and a few more words?
Do you want me to tell you a little bit about the harp I'm playing, or about harps in general?
Absolutely.
Harps come in all sizes. Basically, they're the same design, but like this one. But you can get a small harp that has 10 strings. That's shaped like a lyre, or the really big pedal harps in a symphony have up to 47 strings. Mine is called either a lever harp because of these levers at the top, or a folk harp, or a Celtic harp. And this has 34 strings, which is about 5 octaves for people who are musical. This particular one was made by a gentleman named Marini in South Central Pennsylvania, and it's made out of African mahogany. So it's very pretty, and it's a little more lightweight because moving harps is quite a technique. A lot of them are heavy. So you have them on wheels, or like when I'm playing for a hospice or at the hospital, I have a small one that I take around because it's a lot easier when you're moving from room to room or outside in the halls. But yeah, this is a beautiful harp. When you go to buy a harp, you don't only look at it to see if you like, because they all look different. And they're all different woods, and they sound different because of how they're made and what type of wood. You turn your back and let somebody else play them. So you're just listening to see if you like the sound, because some are mellow, some are sharp. They just all sound different. So, and I really liked the sound of this one. It has a nice large sound box, which gives it a better sound.
Got it. So it sounds like it's a art even of choosing the proper instrument, and it's the one that you have is truly beautiful. I love the look of the wood that I can see on the camera, and it sounds like a match made in heaven for you, Kathy, to be with this instrument.
Yeah, it is. I love this instrument. And I may buy another one of theirs. This company, Marini's, they just make beautiful harps, all type of harps. And like I said, there are hundreds of people that make harps, so it's very hard to choose which one you want.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know, that there's so many people still making, you know, the handmade beautiful instruments, because for me, when I look at it, it looks like a sculpture.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah.
All right, Kathy.
Okay. We'll go to Amazing
Ready?
Grace. As I said, you may close your eyes, you may hum, whatever you'd like to do.
Okay, I'm ready. Thank you.
I'm going to turn the camera so you can see the harp better.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
You're welcome.
That was really a wonderful piece, Kathy, and it put me in a very good mood. And I am so glad that we reconnected. Part of extended family. We unable to see each other, and I know that you guys had to cancel something that you really anticipate and plan, the family reunion. But you know what? There will be next year,
That's
and
right.
I'm going to try to do my best, giving the circumstances, to attend that. But we shall see. And thank you so much for agreeing, for doing it. And hey, I wouldn't mind if we did it again. And maybe next time we'll play something something different, maybe something faster or another soothing piece, whatever will suit our minds and our moods at that time.
Sounds wonderful. It's my pleasure. I'd love to join you again, Kasha.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I'm going to stop recording.
Okay.